What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And Levon Maynard.
What up?
What is the deal? So this is the last episode from the remote location with beautiful unicorn in the background. Next time you see me, I'll be beardless, looking like I don't know, like an infant. next time I appear. So summer schedule is over. Summertime's over. Hopefully everybody's out there is safe and vaccinated or protected or whatever. But it's come to a sad end. I do not want to go back, but I must, because I gotta keep the lights on. So vacation is canceled. How's everybody's week been?
I can't complain. It's been a pretty good week for me. Been chilling out. Been playing some games. Been watching some shows. I know I think we'll probably talk about it a little bit later on. I watched that new Suicide Squad feature on HBO Max, and then have to celebrate a little bit. The USA did pretty well in the Olympics. We got first place in gold, and then we got a top medal count altogether for all the countries. So that was worth celebrating. I enjoyed a few of. I watched a little bit of the Olympics, not too much, but just glad to see that we did pretty well. But how about you guys? How about you, Shannon? What you been up to?
It's been good for me too, man. It's been a good week. So is the Olympics over now, or like
today's as of this today? Right?
I think today Japanese time, so like yesterday, I guess.
Okay.
I think they wrapped up yesterday, kind of.
Yeah, I know. Ryan was trying to get me to watch some of these events and whatnot, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, man. It's the one and only pandemic Olympics, man. And hopefully, it'll never be another one. So I'm hoping,
right?
We hope not.
4 years from now, hopefully this is over.
Right.
I'm not confident in us as a people.
No,
it's like we had a good run.
It was
several thousand years.
It was 100 years between the last pandemic. I don't think we're going to go that long again. Like, we will not learn our lesson.
Man.
Right.
It's terrible. Like, again, I'm in like I love being in Florida. I love the sunshine and all that good stuff. But we are going backwards. People are getting sick. School was just about to open. I'm like,
Yeah.
Man, I saw y'all set what was it? It was the
new record
for infection. Yeah, the new record for infection, like 3 times this past week. I was like, what? It's like, okay, cut it on Tuesday and then Thursday and then Friday. I was like, wow. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I have to get a test to travel internationally, and just like last year, they're starting to back up, and I'm just like, I got to find somebody who can get me the test in the right window. Is ridiculous. I probably had to come out of pocket. There's private companies that'll do it for you in like 30 minutes, but insurance don't pay for that.
Right.
So I'm trying to time it just right. It's crazy, but hopefully this is it, man.
The base can't get you in at a decent time?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No. But there are some companies out here that'll do it. So right now I'm getting hooked up by the CVS, but even they're starting to back up. They're like, they said it was a day, now they're like, might be 2 days.
Yeah.
So
dang.
So we'll see. But
I saw that real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just saw an article right before we hopped on this podcast about Canada was doing some requirements for come across the border from U.S. to Canada. That you had to have COVID. You had to be vaccinated, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
and
wow.
then
Okay.
if people came by with like fake papers, they said they were vaccinated. They were finding them up to $750,000 and potentially some jail time. They ain't joking in Canada. Like
$750,000.
Yeah, $750,000. I just saw that article. I was like, what the?
Yeah,
but I was like, Canada ain't playing around.
No, it's good for them. I've been to Canada. I'm from Buffalo, so several times. There's nothing worth $750,000 there. So,
Right.
You know what I mean? To go look,
Right.
I love. I ain't knocking Canada. I love the Canadian people. Super friendly. But I've seen Niagara Falls from the crappy side. I'll stay on this side of the border. $750,000. So, but
and then possibly
good.
some jail time. So
yeah.
That's.
I wonder what Canadian jail is like. Is it friendly? Like, is everybody polite?
Right. Right. I
Who's,
know. So
here's your what do they call it? Poutine? Here's your poutine, eh?
Yeah,
You know?
Canadian bacon. I kid. But
yeah.
I've been kicked out of Canada, so they don't play. Friday night, they're like, just turn the car around, go back across the Peace Bridge. You you ain't
Right.
coming in tonight.
Are you for real?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, for real? They're like, nah. Yeah, tonight's been a bad night. Don't go turn around. So,
Wow.
but it's all good. So this week we have two interesting articles that we've decided we've picked violence against big companies. So
Mm.
we'll be attacking the big two today, but it's just, news is news. Everybody can get it. Apple is safe this week, but with, you never know about next week. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. This article is from Vice.com by Joseph Cox, and it's leaked document says Google fired dozens of employees for data misuse. Right. So this actually, they're talking about the time frame between 2018 and 2020, and what was happening was employees of the company were abusing the accesses they had to different databases and different what am I trying to say here? There's different accesses to different information that Google had control of. And so they've let go of dozens of people from 2018 to 2020. And when I read this article, actually, this made me think it was who was it? It was that second whistleblower. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it was
Margaret.
Dr. Gabriel's right hand lady.
Yeah. So
Mm.
I
Right.
remember before they let her go, they were talking along the same lines of this. Like she had some, she was doing some unauthorized access things. So I wonder if she's one of the ones because they don't give any specific names or anything like that. But I was
Right.
wondering if she was one of the ones that was in this count because that was just last year, right? That was 2020 or early 2021. I can't remember because I know Dr. Gabriel was like November time frame, right?
Right. It was like, yeah, it was like a month or two after that.
Right. So it was either very late 2020 or early 2021. But yeah. So what happened was there was somebody that's kind of like a whistleblower that turned this information over, and it says that Google terminated 36 employees in 2020 for security related issues. And then it also notes in the article 86% of all security related allegations against employees included mishandling of confidential information, such as a transfer of internal only information to outside parties. 86%. Now, what we have to think about, right, when it comes to something like this, you will never get away with this as long as you have humans in the chain, right? Like this is just something that is one of those calculated risks of okay, that information has the possibility of getting out because you can never determine how people feel about certain things that are going on in your company. I'm not saying Google was doing anything nefarious here that they turned over or whatever, but they were just putting it out there that hey, this is what happened. You know what I mean? And so it this is a part of doing business. You know what I mean? But I think it's just a bad look for Google with everything else that's come out about them, right? Like they've had a rough 9 months since we've been doing the podcast. Like it seems like they get their fair share from us, you know what I mean, of stuff that they've been doing with Google. But yeah, it's just the numbers that are in this article, right? They talk about Google let go of 26 people in 2019 and 2018. So yeah, they got a again, I'm not going to say they're doing anything nefarious, but they got an issue with people that just have access to all this information. You got to think of what Google has their hands in, right? So this is a lot of information that people can have access to when it comes to private stuff that kind of let we've kind of let them have anyway. But it's one of those things where not everybody that works for a company has good intentions, right? So you have to think about this before you start signing up for all these different social media things. And if you're not paying attention, Google will go and scoop up one of these companies you ain't even thinking about, right? And next thing you know, they got your data and you got somebody in a back room somewhere looking you up or doing different type of stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was an interesting read, and it was something that I honestly wasn't. I gotta say I wasn't very surprised by it, right? Because whenever there's humans involved, this is the type of stuff you deal with, right? It's like your insider threat is your most prominent threat in your organizations, right? It's always the human aspect of it. But yeah, it was interesting to read though. Google's taking it on the chin again, right? But this is something that happens everywhere. It's not like it's specific to them, right? But they're the ones that are taking it on the chin when this got leaked to Motherboard is what it is. Motherboard is a division of Vice because this was a Vice.com article that somebody leaked it to. So, but Levon, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I think it's just like you described. It's kind of like one of those things. It's like to be expected a little bit. I mean, uh, obviously, we'd love a perfect world where we don't have to worry about like these companies having, I don't know, uh, you know, bad actors within the company, employees that want to use the data for whatever they want to use it for, or be able to access your data. I think the same thing people have kind of concerns about, like FBI and all this kind of stuff. Any kind of organization that has access to data that they can look you up or find something that you maybe you posted sometime, or some see something about your past, your history, something like that. But um, something like this, where Google has some employees that are, and it's Google can only do so much. It's like they have to get they have to have people that can process these databases and process people's data and be able to access these like websites and all this kind of stuff and all this content. And you got the Gmail, you got you got all this YouTube and all these other points of information, like repositories that people access. So it's not surprising that this kind of thing happened. I mean, I'm sure every tech company out there has people in there that have done some bad bad things that they're trying to either they're in it for themselves, as far as like they want some data about like maybe like an ex or something, or somebody like an old like I think we had that one story about a police officer that was looking in a database to try to find some information about like I don't know if it was like a criminal or something to the effect of some information that they were providing to somebody else for some money. But these type of people exist in any kind of organization and every kind of this is just like a human behavior right here. Just trying to people are in it for themselves to try to get some sort of like get something out of it, or they may be trying to get paid off by getting some data and sharing it with somebody else. But this was like this is definitely an interesting article, and like I said, I'm not surprised, but I think there's only so much they can do as far as Google themselves. It seems like they were trying to limit access to user data to only necessary individuals, things like that, and they're requiring justification for access to such data. So it's like you can make up these like barriers between like maybe this level of person has access to this amount of data, and then the next level has access to this amount of data. But pretty soon you get to a point where somebody has access to everything they need, or at least enough information that they can do whatever, cause whatever damage they want, whether it's like, sharing information or hacking information, changing things around, or like, what have you. But it's very interesting. But do you have some thoughts on it as well, Ryan? What you think? Oh, I think you're muted. Or at least I can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, so I was saying, I've been unmuted the whole time, trying to be muted, by the way. Yeah, I think it comes down to, like you said, like IAM or something like, what I mean? Like there should be restrictions between, but at some point, everybody has access to something. And then it's just a matter of annual training, which they cite in the article, as well as just ethics. And like you brought up the police officer, the database, that one went up to, I believe, the Supreme Court, like whether it's okay for that to happen or not. I was talking to my wife about it. I was saying, like, I wonder how many people who are in the medical field and trying to date somebody who they might have access to their records.
Right.
I don't like, this person's whatever they may have.
Right, right. You got some sexual,
right.
Whatever.
Right.
You bring that up, not to cut you off, not to jump in here, but like, I know somebody that actually did that. I hate to say that, but like when she was in the military, she was medical, and she was
right.
like, yeah, if there was somebody I wanted to date or whatever, she was like, yeah,
I pull the records,
pull the record up, see what they
be like, hey, what's this athlete's foot about? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
What's going on here?
Right. Right. And there's that line right there. Like, is that
right.
ethical? If it's not ethical, like, is there something in the agreement that says that you can or cannot do it? So along the same lines when it comes to this type of data. So it's not necessarily that we're taking a dig at Google. It's more like just they enforce policy, right? Like, who's watching the watchers? Well, apparently they are watching, and they will terminate you for going and crossing that line, whatever that line may be. Because I haven't seen their EULA, but apparently there's only so much data you can have access to, and or share with others. So I mean, it's a good thing, right? They caught them, they got rid of them, and they won't be, whether it be stealing data or, like you said, just snooping around, like, what's this person's search habits, like what kind of videos they like watching, things of that nature. So in the end, it's a good thing, but you just have to be careful. Like, uh, the I don't know how many times it was inadvertent or on purpose. You think that there would be warnings if it's just inadvertent, I guess, information gathering and things of that nature. But if it was egregious, like, hey, I'm literally stalking this person, then they should be terminated. They should be kicked out of there.
So in the article, they do mention that there are other steps. So like there's a statement from Google where they talk about the different steps they will take, like training and things like that. So if you got fired, it met the level of termination, right? At that point, whether it be you had other warnings or whatever it is. And you have to be careful with this balance here too, right? So like you don't want to make it like you could do all types of like you could do email monitoring, you could do DLP, data loss prevention to make sure nothing's getting plugged up in systems. But like, do you want to get to the point where you tell people they can't bring their phones in the building? You know what I mean? Because then it's like, well, I don't want to work for you because then I have no freedoms to do whatever, right? But like with a phone, somebody could just be taking a picture of a screen and send it out, right? Like that's what could happen there in that instance. So it's like you got to be careful with the balance of what you will and will not allow people to do. You know what I mean? Right. So it's tricky. It's slippery slope.
Right. And people may feel more comfortable because we don't know if this was at home or at work or what have you. Like they may feel more comfortable working from home, snooping on people because you don't have a supervisor over your back looking at your screen. So it may also been that like, oh, well, I'm bored. Let me dig through somebody's information real quick. So you just have to be careful. Like know your right and left limits and just don't be creepy. Like don't be a thief. Like I don't know if you're giving this information to someone else who knows for profit or just out of curiosity.
Right. And that's the thing. Google doesn't know it either, right? So like they don't know what you're taking. Let me not say they don't know what you're taking, but they don't know if it's theft of intellectual property. You could be doing it you could be a spy. You know what I mean, for Amazon or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? One of these other big companies out there. So they're gonna play it safe. They're like, hey, we need to protect what's ours. We're not worth all these billions or possibly trillions for Google. I don't know, but we're not worth all this money, by not doing certain things and taking precautions. So
right. And that's a pretty good segue to the next article. So the other big company that we're poking a bear today, so to speak. But I get that to you, Levon.
Yeah, right on. So we have one for discussing Amazon. This one's from the Jerusalem Post. Israeli cyber company detects severe Amazon security breach. And this one is doesn't have like a specific author, but I guess it's just from the Post staff. But this one's basically describing the situation with the Kindle Amazon Kindle Fire books, whatever you call them. Essentially the ebook has some sort of security vulnerability where people were able to basically hack into, or I guess this group, let's see, it was called Israeli cybersecurity provider Checkpoint. I guess according to their investigators, they were able to hack into these tablets during the process of accessing like an ebook from the tablet. There's some sort of vulnerability within the code that they were able to get into the device and actually access the Amazon accounts that were attached to the device, allowing them to potentially like buy things and, do whatever you can with somebody's Amazon account. And I'm sure it had like address information and maybe birth dates or whatever, but nonetheless, they were able to get into the tablet. And the article kind of describes that, people kind of don't think about these. This is like one of the Internet of Things products. And people don't think about the security. You think of a tablet, you don't think like, oh, well, somebody's gonna get into my tablet, and whether or not you have a whole lot of data on there, just the fact that you have some of your accounts logged in, they can actually access those different accounts and access potentially buy things and send it to some other address or what have you. But the fact they went through the process here to investigate this and they discovered the vulnerability and they actually reported it to Amazon, and Amazon actually released a software patch to pretty much resolve the security breach, which should be going out to tablets now. I guess you just hit the update button. But I actually have a Fire tablet, or Kindle. I guess I don't know. They call it like I forgot what they call it, like HD, because I have like pretty much you can play movies and videos on it, as well as you can read books and things like that, ebooks.
So my children have two of them. It's the Fires you're talking about, right? Yeah. I got two of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. The Fire, I think like Fire HD tablets or something like that. But I think it's the same thing like Kindles. I think they're all kind of in the same class of products, but nonetheless, it's good to make sure you keep your stuff updated, make sure things are secure. I normally take mine. I actually turn mine. I put mine in airplane mode when I'm not using it. Not that it's a really big deal. But I just noticed it drains the battery faster when it's connected to the Wi-Fi, so I just turned it off. But when you have it turned on, make sure you have everything updated. And I think I don't know how easily this vulnerability is to implement, but it seems like, I don't know if you have to be like close to the tablet. I'm not sure if it's some sort of far remote thing where you just connect to the tablet from like any location, or if you have to be like within like a Wi-Fi distance. But nonetheless, they were able to get in there. So it's good to be safe, especially if people are traveling with their tablets and they're going to an airport or something like that, and then somebody connected to their ebook or whatever. But what you guys got on this? What do you think about this, Ryan?
So I have not had a Kindle since they were the actual like e-reader. So like there was like the black on white e-reader. Mm-hmm. So I literally forgot they existed. But I do remember seeing some though. I think it was like a niece or a nephew had one. Like where you're talking about like the fire, but I didn't know that those were actually used for books though. I thought it was most because they were watching the video, like you were saying, playing video games on it. But all tablets are starting to become alike. But it's the IoT devices. You have to be careful, like you said. Make sure it's up to date and patched. Like there's nothing you could do in this case until the patch rolled out, which, like you said, it is out there circulating. So you just have to be careful. You have to assume risk, and with every IoT device in your home. So like I got the shark thing that cleans the floor. That's a risk. The thermostat, the doorbell, like all those things add up to a bigger attack surface, and things like this do happen. So it's not necessarily who makes Kindle again? It was Amazon, right? Amazon, so it's not exactly, it's not like Amazon can do their best to keep them patched, but there's always going to be some vulnerability that's going to be found. So what about you, Shannon?
So this was like I said, I got 2 of them in the house, right? And so I saw this and I was like, well, I need to get this from my kids and patch this, right? When we saw it earlier in the week, and I still didn't get around to it. I was like, I should probably do this because they're tied to the Amazon account. You know what I mean? Because
right.
Like at the time they were on them, like when I first saw the story, and I was like, all right, I need to get those, and it slipped my mind, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do that. You know what I mean? To log into their stuff, because I'll tell you right now, like even after I saw the article, it didn't stop me from going on Amazon and doing anything. I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and get this 2 days from now, right? I'm gonna get this.
Right. Yeah, it's not as big of an issue to like prevent you from actually using their services for sure.
No, because it was an IoT device, right? Like, so it's one of those things where it was like, well, I'm doing it from my app on my phone that is patched or whatever, right, and updated frequently. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that big a concern for me personally, but I was like, yeah, those other devices that my children have, I need to jump on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll know when my like there's very few times I have my credit card stored like anywhere, and that is one of them, right? It's with Amazon. It's like I just want to buy.
You know
I mean? Right.
I told you I got the PS5. It was the one click. I didn't even know it was set up. I was like, I want that. I was like, thank you. I was like, oh no.
It upcharges you like, oh, we added some warranty on there. We put a couple games that you don't want.
I was worried that wasn't a real PS5 though. I was like, who? Like, I was like, did it come from Sony? Like,
right.
It's just a box. Am I paying $5 for just a box?
Exactly.
Right.
But yeah, like Amazon has a hold on me and my family. So they're not going anywhere. And like, I think we're by a warehouse now, because sometimes stuff comes in the same day. You click it early enough in the morning, it'll be there in the evening.
Wow. Yeah, it's getting crazy. I mean, Amazon's like taking over as far as like, that's where pretty much, I don't know. I'd say a lot of people do their shopping on Amazon nowadays. They don't even go to any they don't go to Best Buy, don't go to Walmart or anything like that, even online or, in person. I wonder what the future holds as far as like Amazon getting more of a grip on our spending habits and becoming like the only place where you can buy things.
I'm down for it. Like when they get the drones up.
Get
delivering packages to my backyard.
Drop it on your roof on accident. Like, oops.
I'll be like, that's fine. It's close enough. Let me get the ladder again.
So, that's gonna be.
You're down there in Florida, Ryan, man. I don't know if it'll make it to your house, man. Somebody might say they feel threatened, right? You don't have to.
Yeah, they have to defend, stand their ground versus the drone.
Right.
I feel threatened. Pow.
I feel threatened. Yeah, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Like I can't get my Whole Foods now because you want to shoot my drone out of the sky.
Mhm.
Right. Trying to get my groceries.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot wait for the drones to start flying. But
Yeah, that's the future.
yeah, I mean, let's get to the point that you just have to take these vulnerabilities on the chin, basically. Like it's becoming where it's not egregious. It's like there's just people with time on their hands and the necessary skills to find a way to use whatever IoT device to get into your network or to get into your account or to you have to be patient. You have to keep your stuff patched. I can't even be mad anymore. That's something like totally egregious. Like, oh, we just did not, for whatever reason, keep this up to date. Like those tablets are pretty much receiving updates on a regular basis. So in this case, it's just you have to hope that it wasn't you that got attacked with the 0-day. And then if you're hearing this, like Shannon, patch stuff.
Right.
So and just
Yeah.
be hopeful there's no supply chain attack that's forthcoming.
Yeah.
So you bring up a good point though, Ryan. Like it's kind of like when if you watch TV from the 50s, right? Like some of the stuff that we have on TV now wouldn't fly in the 50s, but we just become
Right.
used to it, right? Like that's just kind of where it's becoming with technology nowadays and with the security of it. It's like we've said it several times on this podcast, right? There's always amount of risk. There's always an amount of risk, and you'll never get rid of it 100%, right? It's just not going to happen, right? If you want to stay, well, I mean, if you want to stay in the current age, right? Like you can always get, a wood log cabin out in the woods somewhere.
Oh yeah. If you're off the grid, then that's the only way you're gonna stay protected.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way. But like, there ain't too many of them people out there. And if you do find out they're out there, like somebody's coming for you anyway, right? Like,
Right.
get that crazy, you know what I mean? But
Right.
yeah, no,
Right.
it's just what it is, right? It's just, like if you look at it's damn near every week now. Like we're talking about, it's always a vulnerability of some type. It's some type of ransomware or whatever. Like it's just the way we are. But we kind of put ourselves in that position, right? Like this is what we wanted. We wanted the convenience of, okay, make it come to me, right? Like make it easy for me so I don't have to get in my car, drive to a store, and order whatever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? Amazon started out selling books, right? Like they've evolved into this, right? Because it's the one that the people had. Bezos ain't the richest man in the world because we didn't want what he's providing.
Yeah, he's shooting himself into space because I need my 2-day shipping. I need
Yeah.
it.
Right.
I need it. Like especially during the pandemic. Like I was like, man, how could I survive without this 2-day shipping?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't get
Right.
it. I don't get how we made it. But and like you said, like I trade a lot for the IoT devices. Like I know that they're not the safest things in the world. I know that they're not always going to be patched. I know that they will be end of life at some point, and I'll have to either replace it or assume that risk. But I get to live my childhood fantasies. You know what I mean? Like I used to make the Dick Tracy watch when I was a kid, and you know what I mean, in grade school. And now I actually have a watch on my arm where I can call people. Like,
Mhm. Right.
like I'm living the dream, but then at the same time, I'm inviting people into my home who may steal my data or take my network over or make my doorbell play jingle bells. You never know. Like, so if you want the convenience, you want the future in the palm of your hands, you have to assume some risk, but just be smart about it. Like, continuously patch your stuff. Read a blog or two, figure out how to secure your stuff. And then you have people like us who it's our job to try to keep you safe or keep your data private and things of that nature. So it's an ebb and flow. And then you have those kids who have nothing, kids and adults who have nothing on but time on their hands to break stuff and to do nefarious things. So it's all a game.
Right. That's the truth. Yeah. Like you said, I think I agree with you as far as, agree with you on everything, but I think it's just important for us all to just be aware of like you said, the vulnerability, the possibility of being hacked, and then whether do whatever we can to mitigate, especially like when it comes to your own personal information and finances, things like that. You can, lock your credit report. You can, try to do things like that and monitor you'll do a yearly or however frequently you can monitor your credit, make sure there's no craziness, anybody, using identity, do some identity theft and trying to use your information to buy other things or try to, just try to impersonate you and just do whatever they want with your information. So we just do whatever we can. And,
Yeah. Exactly. Like you like especially the point about monitoring your credit. Like you have to have at least 5 dozen free credit monitoring things throughout the year because your data has been stolen so many times. So just use one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Use one of those because I mean that's basically how they paid you for the theft of your data. So you might as well take advantage of it.
Right.
But I guess to go into something a little bit more lighthearted. So we had homework assignment this week to watch the Suicide Squad movie. So I watched it. I watched it Friday night. I think Friday night. I had some family over, so I had to wait till the youngins went to sleep. But I guess on the count of 3, thumbs up, thumbs down. What did you think of the new Suicide Squad movie? So 1, 2, 3.
Oh no, Shannon!
Shannon, he's always in the center.
2 out of 3 had thumbs up. Shannon had like a little question mark thumb.
He was questionable.
Questionable. Oh my God.
So what did you not like about it?
I wanted more violence, I think.
You wanted more violence?
I wanted more
violence. It was blood?
More violence. Wow.
I'm not saying it wasn't gory. But
yeah,
like they put more time into like
the intro, you think?
Well, the intro was bloody though.
Yeah.
The intro was bloody.
Right.
That kind of shocked me. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, like okay.
Well, who's dying?
Yeah. Gone.
Everybody's dead.
Yeah. But like, yeah, man, I don't know. And it was funny, right? Like it was funny, but
right.
James Gunn is the guy that did Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I expected a little bit more along those lines with the comedy too, right? Like he kind of kept it going, and maybe it's the actor, right? Maybe it's just like a Chris Pratt thing, like he can make that keep happening, you know what I mean? But it wasn't as funny all the time like that. And like when they did have violence, for sure, it was gory, right? Like there was some stuff in there. I was just like, wow, okay,
yeah,
I get it, but. Yeah, it was some lulls in there. I was just kind of like, like this is Suicide Squad. Like I want to see you go out there and do the damn thing. But
right, I'm trying to think of the lulls though, like because I actually fell asleep not because I was bored because I'm old, because we waited so late to watch it. So I think the first time I watched it that Friday, I nodded off after they freed Harley. I nodded off for a little bit and I woke up and then some stuff was happening. So I was like, oh, can't watch it now. Because I got to go back. Like I was watching it with Junior. But I know that had a little bit of a low because, it had a little bit of romance and whatnot. But then she shot him in the heart. So it picked right back up.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know, man. It was just me, like with everybody that was there, like, and I kind of expected a little bit more from Idris Elba too, right? Like, I don't know. I just,
I thought he was great.
Yeah, when he was going back and forth with John Cena.
Yeah, I love that relationship. Yeah,
it just wasn't doing it for you.
Shannon shaking his head nonstop.
Because he was like, Viola Davis' character was like, yeah, we hire everybody for a specific skill, and he was like, but he has the same skills as me. And then he started the battle, and they killed all of the resistance fighters. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
But,
I thought that was hilarious. He's like, oops, where are my men?
It was like, there's nobody out here when we got here.
It just seemed to me like it was kind of the same amount of action as like the first one, Suicide Squad, which is not the Suicide Squad, like the one with Will Smith.
Right.
I was just like, I needed more than that, right? Not to say that movie was bad, but like I'd probably still give it. Maybe I should have given it a thumbs up because I'd probably still say 7.
You used to give it a 7? Wow.
It's the average, huh? Okay.
I know it's like 90. I know. It's still passing. I know it's like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like,
because I think the intro shocked me. Like I think it never shocked me like that again until the Harley romance. Then I was like, what?
Right.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, the intro shocked me because there was a couple characters that I for sure thought were in the movie,
yeah.
But they weren't. Like Captain Boomerang, I was like, yo, because he made it in the movie. Yeah, in the intro, they killed him off so fast. And oh boy, from SNL, I forget what he's called.
Black guy.
Blackguard, yeah,
Davis.
yeah, because I could the old boy twirling the staff. I could see that coming from a mile away.
Javelin. You talking about
Yeah,
Javelin?
Javelin,
Javelin.
and I don't know anybody's name, by the way. This is how I live my life. But
Right.
old boy from The Walking Dead, who they recruited. Oh man, like he could he bounced the ball around. What did he call? He was called like not Vision,
Oh,
but he was called
No, you're talking
Oh.
about old boy from. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he was the Whistler guy.
the Whistler
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Michael Cooper, I think, is his name in real life.
yeah,
Michael-
yeah. I was surprised because he's such a big name. They
Yeah.
offed him so fast too.
Some people they can pay, they don't want to pay them too much money. Like
Yeah.
you can pay you off quick, you get like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little and
We'll
I didn't realize
we'll give you a tenth of what we usually pay. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
My wife bounced when King Shark was on the screen. She was like, "Is that a shark?" So, I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "All right, I'm out."
I gotta go.
She's like, "I'm out. Y'all enjoy." But
I didn't realize that was Sylvester Stallone until like the end of the credits.
Yeah.
so how I know I'm getting old is because I heard the voice. I was like, "Oh, RJ, that's Sylvester Stallone." He kind of blinked at me, and I was like, "Rambo." And kind of blinked at me, and I was like,
Wow.
Where'd I go wrong?"
Yeah.
Rocky? You didn't give him Rocky? Like
You don't know nothing. You don't know the character at all. I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Expendables is
Generation.
new. What about Expendables? Expendables is new. You should know that one.
He
right?
might know from Expendables, maybe.
Yeah.
He may know him from Expendables. But I'm like, man.
I can't even say anything because I've had that happen to me a time or two as well, where they're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, y'all, I failed y'all. Like, I don't understand how you don't know these.
I was like, that's my childhood, but I guess it makes sense.
Right.
Not his childhood. Like John Cena, he knew very well.
Yeah.
He was cracking up the whole time. Like when he was in his tidy whities for no reason, he was
Right.
just standing there.
Yeah, just standing there like, what the?
He was just like, why are you?
That was funny.
He's like,
But
You-
I did like how obscure everything was though. Like that's my favorite part is when they show the obscure characters, like
Yeah.
how Marvel is starting to get where they're starting to reach kind of deep in the bag. I did enjoy
Mhm.
that part because I was like, I don't know who Polka Dot Man is. I don't know
Right.
who Rat Catcher 1 is, let alone Rat Catcher number 2.
yeah,
So I was like, okay, I like it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was really good. I like the I don't know, I like the action. I like the I don't know, the comedy between the characters, especially like you mentioned John Cena and Idris. And what else? I just thought it was a good movie overall. I was really surprised. I thought Shannon would enjoy it. I thought it had enough action, enough of a pace. I know it got a little quiet here, little lull here and there, but I thought it was pretty good paced movie. And
Maybe
it kept
because I
me
watched it-
engaged. Yeah.
maybe because I watched it early in the morning. I watched it early Saturday morning because I was by myself, right? Like I said, children.
Right.
Always
You had to
coming
get it in, yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. Right.
But maybe
Quick.
because I just woke up because it was the first thing I did. I made some breakfast and turned it on, but like I was just kind of like, huh. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seemed like the same amount of action as before. I'll watch it again probably and be like, all right, well, let me see.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I think it could have been, but it makes it more violent in my opinion because in the original, the enemies were mostly supernatural, so they weren't killing people any longer. It's that thing where they turn a person into an alien or a creature, and then it's cool. We can just murder it because it's not a person anymore. And these were people.
Right.
They were killing a lot of people, except for the weasel.
Right.
That was that was
Yeah,
only
the weasel's
non-person. And that broke RJ's heart at the beginning. That
He
was
liked
his
the
character.
weasel.
He was waiting for the weasel to do his thing. And
Right.
he was like, already?
That thing was hilarious though. I like at the end when it was running, like crazy ass run. Oh man, that's
But
cracked me up though.
I'm gonna have to put
Yeah.
I wanted to put spoiler warning in the title because we did not
Right.
say we're going to spoil this movie, but we're already there, so we might as well just keep it going. And I'll put it in the title. We're spoiling it.
I think we did pretty good, except for when you mentioned the guy getting killed. Like,
Captain Boomerang, because he's a pretty like not a he's not like a major villain, but he's to me, I know him from the Suicide Squad. Like
Right, he's one of the major
staple
characters.
Yeah,
staple
and
of the series. Yeah,
and they're just like, nope. Because old girl, I forget her name, the one who grabbed the helicopter. I never heard of her before, so I was like, oh, she's dead.
Mango. But no, yeah, like, but I mean, oh, well, we're already in the spoilers part of it, right? But like, even Flag did it, so it's like.
So I fell asleep, and when I went back, I never caught the scene where he dies.
Really?
But I saw it for a brief second. I was like, oh, I got to see how that happened. Still no. So I got to go back and watch that part again.
Yeah.
Because that did surprise me as well. Yeah, I didn't expect
Flag has been a part of Suicide Squad for a while, right? Like he was like the person that was always sent out with him. I thought I didn't watch the comics.
Yeah, he's like the handler.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, when he bit it, I was like, oh shit. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I already knew the twist with Peace Maker because they've already announced that he's getting his own HBO Max series.
Oh, really?
So like when he quote unquote bit it, I was like, maybe it'll be a prequel, but I know he's still going to exist in some way. And then they had the end of credit scene, so I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. He's getting his own HBO Max thing, huh?
Yeah,
with John Cena.
Yep, he's getting his own series. Yep.
Dang, I gotta check that one out. That should be pretty. So
I was like, that's gonna be hilarious because he was like, I'll kill. He was like, I don't care how many men, women, and children I have to kill for peace. I was like, what? What?
Yeah, he's like the true patriot. Like, this is what we see in the streets nowadays. Like people go to extremes. Like, yeah, I love America so much, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, I was like, all right. I can take it, but yeah, it's definitely gonna. I think Gunn will get another chance at it. I think he will get a sequel.
See, I don't know, right? So like, I don't know if he can go back and do DC now because remember he did that when he got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
So Marvel cut him loose and then he went to DC. Now will Marvel have something in his contract now? Like, okay, you're working with us again. You can't go back.
I don't think they can because there was a statement released by Warner saying that the future of DC looks great under Gunn's vision or something like that. Wow. So he's coming back.
Was that before he got hired back? Was that before he got hired back to do?
No, that was recent. That was recent after this movie dropped. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he's coming back, but I don't know if he'll be doing a sequel to this one. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's going to be like who they have left. They got to go back in the bag again.
So I don't think he anticipated that was going to happen, right? Like he probably thought his career was over, right? Because he got caught up with the whole. It was Me Too, right? Like this thing was so like. He was like, all right, my career's over. I'm gonna go out with a bang. So
it wasn't Me Too. It wasn't Me Too. It was tweets.
His daughters.
Tweets. It was tweets. Sorry. It was he said something inappropriate, either about the mentally challenged or something not right. Like I can't remember the exact one, but it was something like they went in the past and put some stuff out. He apologized, and Disney was like, no. Yeah. So it was either that or it was like something about. Something sexual, something I can't really remember.
Well, he thought he was canceled.
Yeah, he thought he was canceled.
So he was like, "I'm just gonna go all out on this." And the first 10 minutes of that movie show it. He was just like, "All right, I'm gonna do what I want to do." Yeah. so now, if he's coming back, he's kind of ruined it, right? So now you got to come up with some obscure way of, oh, those were all clones or something. You know what I mean? That's something.
Yeah, there's more. I mean, there are more. D-list bad guys they can find.
Yeah, but right? Like who wants to
right? Because at Polka Dot Man surprised us all, right? Like there was some scenes where I like super hilarious. Yeah. It was like he was like, I see her everywhere. Yeah, he was in the club. I was like, yeah, that's so
I thought that part was hilarious too.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Wasn't that funny, Shannon? Look at you laughing at all these jokes.
No, it was. It was funny, but like it was not constantly funny. Like you didn't like. I had big laughs. Like that was a big one. Like in dancing with his mom in the club. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Right.
I was laughing real hard at that. I was like, got an Oedipus complex, but no, like I didn't think it was constant like Guardians of the Galaxy was. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, like constantly funny, and it may not be as big laughs all the time, but you were constantly chuckling up a little bit or cracking a smile. But this one, it was like, okay, lull, and then boom, and then you laugh hard, and lull again, and boom. So I don't know, like I think they tried to make King Shark was supposed to be like Bautista in Guardians.
Right.
He was supposed to be like the Drax type character, but like it didn't really pull it off. You know what I mean? So.
I like this character. I thought he was pretty funny.
He was,
I thought
he was like,
Hand.
Yeah, Hand. And then he was so proud of himself. He was like, yeah, I got it. Nailed it.
Right. And he put on the mustache, like, I'm coming with you guys.
He's like, I still know it's you.
You ain't gonna fool nobody. Idris is like,
like when he was reading the book upside down when he first got him, like he tried to pretend like he was get the book upside down.
Oh man. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, but yeah, so I can see maybe I can definitely see that they could continue it on, but it would be like we can't kill off any more people.
Right. You gotta,
like these are like these are the staples or whatever. Because I was thinking about it because like you saw the daughter was the same daughter, right? That was still Will Smith's daughter from the first one. Like all the characters were still the same characters except for there was no Deadshot, and instead they had Bloodsport. Because I'm pretty certain because there's a flashback in the first one where Ben Affleck is Batman, and Will Smith's daughter.
I don't think that's the same girl though.
I think that's the same girl.
Really?
I think so because I was like, she looks just like her.
I don't know about that one, man.
But I don't want to go back and watch that movie. That's the thing.
You don't want to confirm.
I did. I watched it. I watched it recently. That's why I'm like, man, I don't think that's her, but maybe it could be. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. Yeah. But it's not even. But here's the thing: it's not even the same character though. That's two different characters. So like,
true. They are two different characters. Yeah, I didn't think about that. They didn't replace Will Smith. They just got another character.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the only other thing I did this week was get frustrated at Final Fantasy VII. So I've been playing that. It's amazing. I hit a boss. I don't know if you got into Nero yet, Vaughn, and he should not be hard to beat. I've watched videos. That's how bad he's been beating me. I've died at least 20 times, and it's not a short fight. He has like 3 different phases. There's cutscenes you can't skip as you progress through the fight.
Right.
So like it's like a 15-minute fight. I keep getting to the last phase, and then he kills me. I watched the video, and this dude was just like, no problem. Same setup as me, everything. I'm just like, am I getting old? Do I not have the reflexes?
I was gonna say,
I might be stuck. I might have to give up the ghost.
You gotta level up your character.
I can't. Like it's one of those spawn walls now. I can't go back. I have to go forward. Yeah, so I'm stuck. Either I beat him or I don't. He gives final boss vibes, but I didn't want to read ahead, but I watched the video and he's not the final boss. So I'm just like, I think I suck. Like my 8-year-old was like, I was playing a game and I kept dying. He was like, you know what, Dad? Sometimes when I can't beat something, I just put it down for a little bit.
It's like, Dad, you should do that right now.
I was like, you're right. I was putting in rest mode. I was like, you're right. I'm walking away.
Oh damn. Yeah, it's like Final Fantasy VII, remake has a more of a live action. What do you call it? Like real time combat, as opposed to like the turn based where you have to hit the button. You're like, okay, do attack now, and then you wait for the guy to attack and come back. Yeah. Now you actually got to use your skills and tactics. So you got to avoid and like duck and dive and dip, dive, duck, dodge, all that kind of stuff with these. So it's like maybe you gotta right. You gotta just work on avoiding the hits. I don't know if the person with the video had any recommendations as far as like certain styles of fighting you got to use or certain weapons. Yeah,
well, not the weapons and not necessarily the materia, but it was like, stay in this area, dodge this, make sure you don't get by that, doing all that stuff. But then he has like when his final phase, he has like an AOE attack that just kills you instant, boom, dead.
Damn,
it was just like you got to be perfect right there. This dude, like, no problem. He wasn't even doing nothing special. He was just whooping on him, and he beat him like 15 minutes flat.
Damn,
like.
I need to get back into the game. I have to. I took a break from it because I mentioned it before, but it's one of those games that me and the wife play together. It's kind of like watching Netflix, watching Netflix series without your wife that you guys have been watching together. It's like I don't want to like betray the I don't want to cheat on the wife. Like you saw it without me. Oh my god! But I gotta go back and play that together with the wife so we can enjoy it. But
so you said it's not. You said it's not the. It's so like I remember Final Fantasy, and the reason I didn't like it is because of how it played, where you read it and then have to select the action. They don't do that anymore.
So it's integrated, so you can attack freely, like you do the weaker, just like hitting the button or whatever. but there are some bars that fill up that let you do your specials. So
Okay.
it's a combination. It's like perfect blend. Like it's like they've modernized it where it's a lot of fun. I just hit physical. I guess I'm old block. It's not the game's fault.
Right. Yeah, because it's like it's just like Ryan was saying, Shannon. It's not like the typical where you hit the button and then you wait for the guy to attack. You can actually like put the controller down and walk away and come back and you still be sitting in that same fight ready to go again.
Yeah.
If you put it down, the guy's gonna hit you over and over again while you're just sitting there. But yeah, it's a good game. I want to get back into. It's really I love the Final Fantasy 7. I love the original, and the remake looked really badass. And they're gonna have that's only like the first part of the game because it's such a big game. I think they're gonna come out with like at least 2 or 3 more parts of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because so I don't like if you play the first game, you start off in a city called Midgar. Midgar is like maybe 40 minutes. You think in the original, like maybe 40 minutes to an hour of
Probably
gameplay out of like 20-hour game.
Yeah.
It made a 40-hour game just out of that, and you'd be like, "Well, that's gonna be dumb." It's not. Like it's really good.
Yeah. Because I remember when I played.
I was gonna say, but now we know it's gonna take 10 years to finally finish all the parts of the game.
Yeah. I was gonna say on that note, I remember when I first played the game, like I never at that time I never like looked at the strategy guides stuff like that. But when I finished Midgar, I was kind of like, man, this is like the whole like. Did I just finish the game when I beat the final? Like you go up to the tower or whatever, the Shinra Corporation, whatever. You get to the tower, you fight the guys there, and then you got the bike race, and you're leaving the town or whatever, and then like. You realize at the end of the game, like, oh damn, there's a whole damn world out here that I got to explore. It's like that was just like one town as like a part of like hundreds of other towns you can, maybe like tens of 10 to 20 like different other towns you can explore in the game. I was like, damn, this is a big game right here.
Yeah. So I don't know if that entices you at all. It is a monster of a game to play though. Still a good 20-hour game. Yeah.
You still gotta get Shannon to get him upgrade his PS4 or whatever you got him. Get him getting the latest and greatest.
Stupid old last gen.
What?
Patooey. Yeah, man. Look, I'm like until I could just walk in the store and it's readily available, man. Like I don't know. I'm just not searching for it. And Levon, I know you stay up on it, man. You're like, hey, it's coming out of time.
It's coming out here at Walmart right here. You can get it. I got this guy on Twitter. He just posts like he keeps everybody updated when there's a new release or a console's gonna be released at a particular store at a particular time, and he just posted. And I have like a little alert that pops in. I don't really need an alert anymore, but I kept it when I was kind of searching for him before. But I figured I'd kind of share it with you guys whenever, just in case you were looking for one. And I know Ryan was looking for a Series X at one point.
Yeah, I can't justify it right now because I already have the 2 consoles. But
you're right.
I gotta get my own. So at some point, I will have my own set of consoles.
Right.
We're coming up on the Christmas season, so I'm hoping maybe we'll get to a point where it'll be readily available. But we'll see, man, because it'll be a year in November, right? November of last year was when it came out. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think Sony sets up to. I think I read some article that they planned on. They want to have like 26 million or so consoles released by, I want to say by the beginning of like next year or something to that effect. But they're trying they're really ramping up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about like Q1 or something like because they finally, well, not finally, actually, it's the opposite. They've already started to make profit. Usually it takes a little bit more time, but they've sold so many, even though they look like nobody has any. They've sold enough, but they've already turned a profit.
Really?
So yeah. And that usually takes longer than, what has it been, like 9 months, maybe? Not even that.
I thought the consoles was not really where they were making money in the past. Like, how did they make that work?
They typically don't. Like, it comes through refinement. So as the consoles get smaller, like they release like the Slims and stuff like that, then they start to turn a profit. Except for Nintendo. Nintendo always sells for a profit, except for the Wii U. But yeah, Sony said they've manufactured enough and sold through enough where they've already started to turn a profit. That's how much in demand they are. So just think if there was no chip shortage, or that could be fueling it. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's more in demand than it would be if it wasn't a pandemic / chip shortage, or maybe it's just, you know what I mean? Like people have been so hungry for them because it's been like 7-8 years. They're ready for that upgrade. Either way, I would have been an early adopter regardless of pandemic or what have you. But they're killing it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure Microsoft will be in the same boat sooner or later, because the demand is also there. Um, they're saying that they're selling more Xboxes now at the same period of time than they sold the previous generation.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I think they
Even
said,
in a
yeah.
shortage, huh? Wow, that's
yeah,
amazing, actually.
I think they said it's like the best selling Xbox of all time for them. Um, and then the with Sony, back to Sony, I think the article I read, like just like you were saying, Ryan, that they were making a profit, but I think they were making a profit on the disc, the one that has the disc, but the one without the
oh
disc, I
okay,
think it's still kind of like, because they're selling that one really cheap compared to I think
right,
what they were going to originally. But I think when Xbox came out with the Series S, they kind of like they try to make it more I guess
competitive.
competitive with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I think they probably just gonna do like $50 cheaper or something like that, or because it seems like they dropped $100 off of it,
right.
for
And that tray does not cost $100. So
yeah, exactly. That
yeah,
thing is not $100 worth. So they might be. I think they're still losing a little bit on that, but like you said, they're making a profit on, I guess, the major console. I don't know if they made some more refinements like you described, or if it's just like you said, the abundance of consoles being sold that they just like, uh, you know, they're selling. People are buying them so much that they're spending more in like a bigger bulk. Like, give us like 10,000 consoles now so we can sell them on our website.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see what the future, and hopefully, the console, the chip shortage and everything like that gets better, so everybody gets access to these consoles and gets to play some games and all that.
Yeah, I don't know. They're talking about they're sending out. I saw. Is it Ford or somebody's shipping out cars with no brains? They know no
Oh, damn,
CPUs because they just
that's
don't have it.
crazy.
So they're selling a lot, waiting for the to be
Mhm.
finalized, because they can't slow down production because of
Yeah.
the chip shortage. So they're going to still produce the vehicles, but then they're going to put the chips in
Oh, that's
um,
crazy.
after it hits the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the anticipation is that they will come down shortly. Yeah, but that's exactly why, right? Because you got to get that new model year out, so we can't keep holding up space here. Let's just get them out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. And I think I heard that Taiwan had like another outbreak of COVID, and I think that's one of the big like chip producing
mm,
countries. They have a lot of like, I don't know, factories out there that produce a lot of our chips. Um, so yeah, that's going to be kind of causing some more of a headache for people.
right, right. But we'll see. Like, hopefully, man. Listen, if it's not straight by the next Olympics, like
Right?
we are goners. Like, you know what I mean? So we'll see. Like, the school year's about to kick off. We'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
We'll be on the Zeta variant by then. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
man,
We already got Lambda creeping up. So yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It'll all blow over before this time next year. Because you can't say
Right.
6 months or not. Like, remember before it was like, oh yeah, a couple months. Then it was like 6 months. It was like a year. We're almost on year two. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was only gonna be like 3 months, man. Like I thought it was like when they sent us home last year. It was in March, and I was like, June, we'll have it together. You know what I mean? It'll be all figured out. Yeah, nah, B. No, they were
Right. Yeah, we
man,
got
it's,
two. Yeah.
it's
Be-
crazy.
yeah, even beyond the virus itself, it's like I don't know. We got too many people that are kind of crazy out there that's doing whatever they want and like not, like we talked about before. Some people are selfish, they don't look out for others. They talk about, being all American and looking out, we love Americans and we love being American and all this, but we're not looking out for our fellow Americans. We just do what we want. We don't want our freedoms to be trampled on.
your freedom ends where mine begins, buddy.
Right, right. Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll see. Like, hopefully it'll be it'll still be historic, but hopefully we'll be like, oh, well, I'm so glad that's over with, and now we're on to something new.
Yeah, right.
That's the hope. So we will see. But I think that gets us to the end of the show. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Devon. It's always a good time. Thank you for all those out there listening and watching. I want to say we had a little bit of an uptick in video watching last episode. Keep that up. All right. So we getting creeping towards episode 100. I think this is 88. Uh, we'll figure out what the format is going forward. Like, I kind of like this 45 to 60 minutes. I think we're still getting a lot of good info in there, so we'll discuss. We'll talk about it. But kids, stay tuned. We'll keep pushing them out there. This week, I actually dropped the Ask Us SP, so that's moving again. I'm about to go work remote again, so there'll be lots more episodes and things of that nature, so I can kill time. So I don't go crazy. But keep tuning in. Check out the website www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. Then you can hit us up personally. You can hit me up at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, and Facebook. I'm missing one. Oh, TikTok. There you go.
TikTok.
And you, Levon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at Levon Maynard.
There it is. So stay tuned and please be safe. Peace.
Take care.